talking, everybody? WTF? Welcome
WTF.
to Funkatopia. Yes, we are here. I am your host, Mr. Christopher. This is my illustrious co-host, Mr. Jeff Page. House, and we are very, very excited because tonight we have an amazing. How many times did I say amazing? I got to do at least 5 times.
6.
So one more amazing. Should I do one more amazing?
4. You did 4.
That was only 4?
I don't know. I wasn't counting. I was just enjoying the word.
Let's assume that was 3. Amazing is 4. And then another one is 5.
Hey, she is amazing.
Yes.
Yes.
For those who do not know who is with us tonight, she is a bassist extraordinaire. And I am very honored to have her here. You and I got an opportunity to be able to see her here in Atlanta at the City Winery. Here's the thing. I'll just go ahead and say who it is for those just joining us. We have the amazing Nik West in the house. And she is in the green room right now, so we're going to go ahead and bring her in just a second. But here's what I want to tell you.
Yeah, give me a second. Don't bring her in yet. I need to breathe.
We just calm.
I need to come down here. Yeah, check my pulse. Hold up. Check.
Taking the pulse. Okay.
Yeah, we were very fortunate to have seen her when she was here in Atlanta and loved the show, of course. Everybody knows that. We talked about it.
And here's the thing. I don't like City Winery in Atlanta. Well, right. I like it, but I don't like it. And the reason why I don't like it is because they don't have lights. I mean, they have lights, but they're all just red.
Yeah, it's like boop, there you are. Yeah,
nothing action happening. It's just blah.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, the sound, depending on where you're sitting, is kind of awkward. But that night, I actually enjoyed because it was Nik West.
Right. And the band, what? You know what? We won't even get into all that. We'll talk about it when she's out here with you guys. Right now, she's, again, like I said, in the green room. I'm good. I just brought her some coffee. I don't know, crumpets. There you go. Tea and crumpets.
Let's not waste any more time. You don't want to hear us too yammering away and whatnot. But, ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome to the Funkatopia live stage the one, the only, Nik West.
Hey y'all, what's up?
Hey, what is going on? How are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
Well, it is an honor to have you on board, and let me just tell you, I'm just so we have a little bit of a feedback, a little bit of a buzz.
Is it coming from me?
I think so. Let me see.
Probably.
It may be a loose connection on where it goes into the computer, maybe.
Oh no! Hold on.
Let's just see. It went away. It went
Did
away.
it go away? Well, there's people on the roof.
There's what now?
There's people on the roof doing making some noise, so you may hear that.
Okay.
It seems so far away, but if you hear that, you've got some great ears.
That's all good. Well, it is an honor to have you in, and normally I'm the one that starts the whole show, but I'm going to go ahead and just turn it over to Jeff Page and let you start off because it is so great to have you here. And Nik, again, it's an honor for you to be on the Funkatopia live stage, and you did an amazing show in Atlanta. We're going to talk about this tour. We're going to talk about some of your history and whatnot. Some of the people that you've been working with and because we definitely want to hear all the stories, definitely the Prince stories as well.
Yeah.
But Jeff Page, kick it off, brother.
I mean, why not? Why not? Thank you again for being here. We really appreciate this and taking the time. So you're between shows. You're on tour right now, right?
Yeah, so I have a little break. A week and a half before my next show. Yes.
Yeah, we know that's not a lot of time. So thank you. Exactly. So we've been digging, trying to find some history because we know you've done, throughout the years, a lot of different interviews. So, our goal at Funkatopia is to try to find things that people don't necessarily talk about or that haven't been caught. we do know that you're from Arizona and you started playing at 13, right?
Yes.
13. So I want to mention your most people's first introduction to you. And Chris had brought this out to my attention, was back in season 5 of Glee. I think that's when people first kind of got a feel for you. So, and tell us about the show. Like, how'd you get that gig? What was it like in the TV world for?
So oh, there you go. You're back. It was a little pause.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So I don't even remember how that happened. I don't know exactly who recommended me for this, but there was somebody that was a part of the whole team that said, "Hey, we need to get Nik West." I don't know who that was, but thank you to whomever that was. And I got a phone call.
Wow.
It wasn't anything I had to audition for or anything that I, submitted for. I just got a phone call that, "Hey, we want you on the set in 2 days."
You just showed up. It's like, let's do it.
I showed up. They said, "Show up, dress, do you. We have wardrobe, but the way that you dress and your whole vibe, I don't think we're going to be able to have it. We're not going to have anything to match that. So just come dressed."
And you did.
I did.
I mean, we're just looking at this lineup here, this group photo. For those who are listening, we're just looking at this group photo here. You stand out in this whole cast of characters, and just like you did all of season 5. And I mean, certainly, did you find like you had to? First off, let me just say that you are amazingly toned down right now.
Right.
I'm so used to seeing you with the purple hair or
crazy hair or some sort of like balls or barrettes or neon colors in my hair, right? Look,
Right.
I don't know how to act when I get my hair straightened. I was like, look, just do something. I want to blend in with society for the next week. And this is what we came up with.
If we passed on the street, I probably would not recognize you.
And that's a blessing.
Right. It gives you a little bit of freedom.
It's amazing. But like in this particular, as far as talking about the show Glee, and this is specifically on season 5, did you feel like, when you were marketing, we're going to talk about how you marketed yourself, how you presented yourself on stage, and just your persona and everything that you put on the stage. You were kind of already doing that already. You were perfecting what that, who that person was, who that stage persona was. And now you've stepped into this scenario, and while you've got a bunch of, kids this is very Fame-like, if you remember that TV show. And did you feel like you had to tone yourself down for the show to kind of blend in a little bit better, or do they tell you to tone it down? Or
no, you know what? Not at all. I feel like I was allowed to be me. I have always been that girl that it's not just about put on a costume and become this person or this character. That's who I am. On the inside, I've always been a clown. I've always been somebody that wanted to go against the grain and do it different and look different and just be different. And I just feel like the purple hair was like, boom, before I open my mouth, you already know that I'm different and I'm unique and I'm crazy and I'm cool and I'm a clown, So I just feel like I was able to walk in this situation and just do me.
Oh, beautiful. I saw an interview you did a while back, Guitar Girl magazine. And in that interview, one of the things you said is you'd love to do a collab with Sheila E.
Yes. Oh my God.
I think everybody would, but you tell us.
Yes, I would love to collaborate with Sheila E. Actually, Sheila E. and I were really good friends. She's like, I feel like she's like my godmother or my auntie or whatever. I actually met her first through working with Dave Stewart of Eurythmics fame. Mm-hmm. And he brought her into the studio. He had a TV sort of thing that he was doing. And I got to play with her. I learned this. We all learned the songs, the set. We learned the song. And it was like, oh my God, I'm meeting Sheila E. We didn't have a rehearsal. We just started playing the song and just fit right into the fold. I walked up to her afterward and I'm like, oh my God, I'm such a fan. Like, you're so awesome. And she's just like, oh, I know who you are. And I'm like, you do? You know who I am? She's like, yeah, you're Nik West. I know exactly who you are.
Wow.
So, I mean, she gave me one of my first big ego boosts because I'm like, how do you know who I am? But, she watches and she's inspired by all different generations,
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I'm not sure if she did that before. Because I know that that's a big Prince thing, and we're going to talk a little bit about Prince in a minute, but that's a big Prince thing, is that he was always watching local artists and artists that were just coming up and just kind of making sure that, he got to those artists early if he had the opportunity to do so. And
yes,
that may have been something that Sheila has adopted. I'm sorry, Jeff, I cut you off.
No, go ahead. This is perfect. I'm just in awe of imagining you both playing together. I mean, here you are being as humble as all get out, talking about this is Sheila E. And I'm just imagining me being a fly on the wall going, Sheila E., Nik West.
Well, to be honest, at this time it was really early in my career. So it's just like, well, who's Nik West? Nobody knows who Nik West is. And I was just surprised that she knew who I was. This is before I kind of like really went solo and started doing my own thing. I was playing in other people's bands as like a side woman, a side man. So it was shocking to me, but I definitely need to get on that collaboration thing because I think she'll give into it. I think she'll give into it.
Right. Quick question about that though too, because you said you were in the studio with Dave Stewart from the Eurythmics and Sheila E. and yourself. Is this a song that's already been released?
This was something. Okay, so that particular day, it was like a TV studio that we were in, filming different songs and stuff that Dave Stewart basically invited his friends. The people that showed up, it was Sheila E. I don't know if you know who Judith Hill is. Ringo Starr from the Beatles.
Judith Hill also at City Winery also.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes,
amazing.
Fire.
Amazing. Yes.
Go ahead, sorry.
Ringo Starr from the Beatles. So Dave Stewart would have these things where it's like Dave Stewart and friends. And this is how I was able to meet all of these freaking legends, So yeah, it's probably out there somewhere. It's somewhere in Dave's archives, I'm sure. But I don't think he's released it on as far as like the audio version of it.
Wow. There was a video version of it?
That's what we were filming video at that time. We were filming video. Yes.
But it hasn't seen the light yet. Or
I might have it. I might have it somewhere. I have to go and look back in my archives and see if I can find this video. I'm sure I have it somewhere.
Wow.
So I want to take a second to talk about some of the people that you've worked with recently and just in your past, because, I just trying to look over your resume and really look at some of the past artists that you've collabed with, worked with, shared the stage with. Like, wow, I wonder how that happened. Wow. Again, this all is really more to do with that onstage persona and that marketing that I was talking about, because that type of stuff is really attractive to other artists, because it's like, it's a lot of artists just don't do that. They may play really great music, but they don't know how to market themselves and really kind of get people talking beyond just the music.
Yeah.
And that is such a difficult thing, and you've done such a phenomenal job of it. But I know that somebody who is a huge fan of yours is the one and only Larry Graham.
Yes.
Yes.
And you worked with him on the single Thumpalina, and you actually played that in Atlanta. I actually have a video of you doing that. We actually had seats right at the edge of the stage, and that was like one of the first songs I think that you opened with, or it was like one of the first couple of songs.
Yeah.
And so he is a huge inspiration to a lot of bass players. Really was one of the pioneers of the thumb plucking. And I was paying attention to your technique, and
look at you knowing all the history. Look at you.
Listen, I know that I'm watching your technique, and I also see that you do a lot of that as well. So kind of tell me about your playing style. First, let's talk about Larry
Mm-hmm.
and the inspiration that he was to you as far as your playing style. And then beyond that, as far as, who are some of the other bass players that you were just like, oh, that's how I learned to play.
Yeah. So Larry Graham, obviously, he was even Prince's mentor.
Yep.
So he's like the legend for the legends.
Mm-hmm.
And working with him was just, I've done a lot of awesome things in my career, but hands down, working with Larry Graham, that was, in my opinion, the biggest thing I've ever done. Because I know this sounds funny, but prior to meeting Prince, I didn't know who Larry Graham was. Sounds crazy, right? Because it's like, wait a minute, you're a bass player. How do you not know who Larry Graham is? So obviously I'm from a different generation, and my introduction to this slapping and popping and plucking and stuff was Marcus Miller. So I saw Marcus Miller and Victor Wooten, and I saw them doing this stuff. Rhonda Smith from Prince doing this stuff. Like I grew up, seeing Rhonda Smith do that, but not knowing that the person that influenced them was Larry Graham. And Marcus Miller said, he's like, oh, I am who I am because of Larry Graham. Like we are who we are because of Larry.
Right.
And when I met Prince, that's when he was like, you need to meet Larry Graham. And so it was that those conversations really opened the door for me to really research and just do my homework on this legend.
Well, and speaking of Marcus Miller, I'm going to jump around a little bit because I'll play this 25-second clip because I got to know the story of you with Nile Rodgers and Marcus Miller. That's a little 25-second clip of you on the stage with Nile Rodgers and Marcus Miller. So I've got to know the story of how that came to fruition.
I think it was by accident, but not by accident. I was actually performing at it's a private party, and look, if you knew the people that were there, the people that this party was for, these billionaires that maybe they own Twitter, maybe they don't, and other people, it was out of this world. So I was one of the special guests performing for this. Nile Rodgers was, Marcus Miller, and there were a couple others. And they wanted us to do something together. Didn't find out about this until probably 20 minutes before we went on to do it. Wow. So I'm like, wait, what song is he going to do? Like, what are we going to do? And so Marcus was like, hey, you're going to come on stage with me. We're going to do Come Together. Do you know it? I'm just like, yeah, okay. So we did that. And then Nile was like, we're going to do, Freak Out. And I was like, okay. So I go back, I start listening to the music to make sure that I'm getting the bass line right. Mm-hmm. And 15 minutes later, we were on the stage.
What I love about that video, for those who are getting the audio only of this, what I love about the video is that if you pay attention to Nile, he is turning around and looking at you like
checking in,
and he is just smiling ear to ear and just bobbing his head. You had to zone in on that when you were watching this video.
I zoned in on it myself. And the crazy thing is I have these vision boards of people that I want to work with, and Nile Rodgers was one of those people. Nile and I had talked back and forth. This is Prince was alive, and Prince and Nile were really, really close. And we would just talk back and forth like, hey, I want to work with you. Hey, all this sort of stuff. And he's just like, Soon, I think you're incredible. I think you're awesome. And it just happened to happen that night. And afterwards, he's just like, I just have to tell you, you're pure magic. You're pure magic. And I'm just like, me? I'm magic? Says Nile Rodgers. Okay. I'm magic then. So I don't know. It just, some of these things just kind of happen. And I've learned that I have to be prepared. Because though I knew that these people were going to be there, it was kind of like just a top secret thing. I didn't know that I was going to be asked to do specific songs with these artists as well until right before we did it. So I had to be prepared at all times.
Wow. That's really, really cool. Go ahead. You were going to say something, Jeff?
Yeah, no, that goes right along the theme of what we often hear with musicians and people not realizing it is how preparation and how prepared you have to be, like really know your stuff. And if you're not prepared, how you have to be one of those people that can on a dime go. And that's it. Just go.
Yeah, you hear a lot with people that work with Prince. It's like
Prince,
they memorize like 150 songs, and then you may play 10 of them at some point. So you never know. And I know that's part of your story too. We'll get to that. But there's another connection I want to dig deeper into. And Jeff, we had talked about this last week on the show that Aerosmith is doing their final tour right now.
That's right.
But prayers up, he had to stop the tour. Recently, they just announced he had to stop the tour. He's canceling there's about 10 shows that are being canceled right now because of his doctor told him that he can't sing. But so he's got to take a little bit of break. They're rescheduling those for 2024. But I did find this picture of you and Steven Tyler hanging out here.
Great.
So tell me a little bit about this shot and just what happened this night that you got an opportunity to hang out with him.
Wow, that was it. Same thing. Look, who knew? I didn't know. I was there just kind of with my manager. We were on a Sunset Marquee, or I forget the exact place that we were. Just for, a get together, a party, just kind of like a hang. I didn't know he was going to be there. I walk in, he's doing red carpet stuff. I'm not on the red carpet. I'm just kind of like a spectator in the background, just kind of like new to LA, trying to figure out everything. And he, from the red carpet, stops and is like looking at me. I'm kind of like in the background over here. And he's looking at me. The cameras are like turned toward him and they're interviewing him. And he just keeps looking at me. And he points, he's like, hey, you with the purple hair, come here. Who are you? All of the cameras turn from him, finds me, turn around and point the cameras at me. And then I'm just standing there and my manager like taps me, like, say something, do something. I'm like, oh, hi, my name's Nik West. Like, I didn't know what to say, what to do. I forgot my own name. So then he was like, come here. And I'm just like, oh, okay. I walked to the red carpet and he's like, take some pictures with me. Who are you? I need to know who you are, your energy, your look. There's something about you that I want to know you. Who are you? He just keeps asking me who I am. And I'm like, yeah, my name's Nik West. I sing, I play bass. I do like funk music, rock music, kind of like all of it, blah, blah, blah. And he starts interviewing me on the carpet.
What?
And yes. And so after that, we just kind of hung out. He had a performance that he had to do right after that. He was performing with someone this night. And then afterward, he's like, we need to exchange numbers. Can we exchange numbers? We need to work together. Lenny Kravitz is my best friend. And I said, oh, I know Lenny. We actually met a few weeks ago. So a few weeks prior, Lenny Kravitz and I had actually met. He called me. Anyway, that's another story. So
get ready.
He just was like drawn to me for some reason. And we exchanged numbers and we, just started texting, we want to collab. We want to do all this stuff. So he just became just a cool person to just text and chat with from time to time. Crazy.
That's
crazy
awesome.
Encounters.
And again, this all goes to how you market yourself and how you present yourself and the energy that you exude when you're out there in public and when you do things. It's just when you go to, and I'm okay. I totally understand where you were at when you first started talking to Steve and not being able to find your words. That was the same thing that happened to me when I met Prince for the first time. And you're like standing in front of him and you're like,
my name? What's my name? I don't know my name. What do you mean?
Yeah, I totally understand that. But you mentioned Lenny in this, and I was watching a promo video for you, and one of the things that Lenny had said about you was that you were full of energy, funky, and the look is hot. Yeah. Let's talk about this marketing thing again. So you did mention that you talked with Lenny a little bit. How did you get involved? And that's just somebody else who also marketed himself really, really well.
Yeah.
70s hippie bohemian vibe when he first came out with Let Love Rule, and he just had this whole, vibe about him.
About him.
It was very, very, it was a very hip vibe. And again, it's all about marketing yourself. But how did you connect with Lenny? I imagine the energy synced.
This was after I had already met Prince for the first time. I hadn't seen Prince after that, but after the first time I met him, probably a year later, Lenny Kravitz called me, and I don't remember how he got my number. I'm not sure. I think maybe his guitar player, Craig Ross, hit me up on Facebook. Yeah. Hit me up on Facebook and was like, hey, what's your number? Gave him my number. I didn't hear anything, probably 6 months, 8 months or whatever. So I didn't think anything of it. And then I kept getting these phone calls. And okay. So at that point, I had my phone on only let it ring if it is a contact. So if they're not a contact, I don't even get the notification that I've got a missed call unless I go into my missed call section. So Craig Ross, he hit me up on Facebook and he said, hey, LK is trying to contact you. I'm looking at my phone like, what? No, he's not. I don't have any missed calls. And I'm like, oh, wait, let me go to these. Sure enough, he was trying to contact me. And I'm like, okay, I'm ready. Tell him to contact me. So I'm sitting by my phone waiting and no phone call. It was like a couple of days before he actually called back. And I realized that he had called my phone like multiple times and I had no idea. And when we finally connected, he said, hey, let's meet up. He told me the designated area that we were going to meet. We got together, went into this boutique because it was a boutique, and got there, asked the stylist, hey, let's put her in different things. So they just started kind of like dressing me for, I don't know what, just they put me in tons of different outfits like, oh, that's hot. Oh, let's get a photo. That's hot. And then Lenny and we sat down and we had a long conversation. And I felt like he was like an older cousin, that's how comfortable it was talking with Lenny Kravitz. Just a cool dude is asking me different questions. And I think they had, we talked about food. I'm a foodie. Apparently he's a foodie. We talked about my mom's homemade biscuits because that's like her specialty. We went in on the homemade biscuits thing. We sat around and we kind of ate a couple Doritos and stuff together. And we just talked about different things. He said, we've been watching your videos. We've been on tour. And in the tour bus, the band and we've just been on YouTube watching all your videos. And we think you're incredible. You did that Teen Town cover. And just, it's just crazy to think that it's not just us random people, on YouTube watching videos of people we like. It's people like Lenny Kravitz and people like Prince, and they're literally watching. So I'm like, look, I need to go and curate my videos to make sure that they're awesome and that I really am marketing myself the right way. Apparently it worked. Yeah. But we just had a really good time, really great time.
Yeah, that's how Prince connected with Judith Hill. Well, I mean, obviously he saw Judith on The Voice, but he started following her regularly, just kind of watching some of the stuff that she was posting here and there. And just, I mean, Judith, for those who don't know, she's just not an amazing voice. I don't know why she was on the Voice, because she has an amazing voice, but
Right.
as an instrumentalist,
Yes.
Man.
The way she plays that piano too, like, and then and her family, her mama and her daddy be on stage. They're her band. And and I love, and that's why I love Judith and her story, because it really reminds me of my family growing up. It's like my dad taught me these things. I had a band with my sisters, and that was my first band, my sisters and my dad on stage together doing our thing. And that's why I love what Judith brings to the industry.
Yeah, and I was trying to find a picture of. I also know you've done some work with Bootsy Collins as well.
Mm-hmm.
Lenny Beason's been asking about you, and so I was able to screen capture this from your video.
Oh, that was one of many things.
So, and this is, I don't know what type of party this is. It looks like it's some type of house party or something. There may have been an album release party or something. Seems very, very Bootsy-ish.
Yes.
So tell me the story about meeting up with Bootsy Collins and how that all became.
So for Bootsy, it was that he's kind of been there since the very, very beginning of my career. Like the very first song I ever put out there, very first video I ever put out there, somebody probably sent him this video. He was on his Facebook page. He shared this video and he's like, this is like my granddaughter, my goddaughter or something. I think she's got the Bootsy in her. And it was incredible because that was the first person that shared just my whole thing. And it's been since then that we've been friends since then. And recently he asked me to write a quote. He's writing a book. I don't know if it's public knowledge, but he's writing a book. And he asked me for some words that I would love to say that he could put in the book. And that just, I don't know, full circle. I feel like I have a little bit of Bootsy in me, and he's just been incredible since the very beginning. Just, yeah, we've had that friendship for a long time.
Man, that's fantastic. I mean, and we've been talking throughout this interview regarding the marketing of yourself, not just your music, but also your persona as well. I mean, any artist,
clef.
Right?
We know the bass clef.
That I did not put that together.
Yeah, yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah. Any artist that is huge right now, or even in the past, has had, for lack of a better term, a gimmick, just proper marketing. Lady Gaga in her meat dress, Prince with his over-the-top controversial sexuality and the bikini, the flock of seagulls with with the hair, talking heads and all the same as it ever was.
Right.
It's all about marketing. So I really want to talk. I mean, even though the music has to be good, the visual, and sometimes the music doesn't even have to be good, but
this is true.
The visual component is just as important as getting people talking. So what do you say kind of defines your style, the way that you dress, the way you do your hair, etc.? Was it a total package, or did you start adding pieces as you went?
So I think the piece that was added was the hair piece, and that was actually given to me as advice. I was working with Dave Stewart, and he said, okay, what is it that you want to be? Do you want to be an artist that's just trendy and you're just here for the moment? You jump on trends and you kind of, go viral for whatever trend it was that you hopped on? Or do you want to be an artist that has longevity? And I said, well, obviously longevity. And he's like, well, being an artist that has longevity, sometimes it takes you longer to get there, longer to establish yourself. And then when you establish yourself, then, it does create that forever fan base. Mm-hmm. And he says, I think, yeah, you as a female on the bass, the way that you play the bass and sing and do all of that together, you have a really cool package. You are very unique. You like to dress unique, but I think you need to change your hair. Because I was just wearing, my big hair, just curly, big hair, sort of thing. And I was like, what do you mean I need to change my hair? He's like, I don't know, shave it all off and paint your head green. I said, I'm not going to do that. And he says, well, I don't know, something, think of something. And so I was like, well, I could do like a mohawk or something. I went to my hairstylist and I said, I want a mohawk. I want you to put my natural hair into kind of like, mold it into like a mohawk of some sorts where it's still curly or whatever.
Mm.
We were looking at my friend. I don't know if you know who this is. Her name's Andy Allo. She had
Andy.
Yes, Andy Allo. She had an album cover for her superconductor album cover.
Mm-hmm.
And she was kind of wearing this style that I wanted to wear. And I said, oh my God, she just came out with this album and she has the style that we were thinking about. I have to change it up. We have to do something different. We were literally at the photo shoot that day when I found that out. And my hairstylist was like, I don't know what you want me to do. I don't have anything else. And I was like, what about that purple hair laying over there? Like, what can you do with that purple hair? Like, let's just use it. Let's take a photo with it and see what happens. So we tried it out. She molded into this mohawk, took a photo, posted it on social media, and somebody was like, yo, this looks like a bass clef. Yo, this is dope. Yo, this is hot. So something that was kind of by accident, intentional, but an accident, turned out to be a brand. And that's how it happened.
Man, and I did not notice the bass clef part of it until Jeff Page, until you pointed it out. That's very, very cool. Obviously, that's what you get from a vocalist and somebody.
Right. I play, so.
Yeah. I told you, I don't know everything. But so here's a couple more stories before we kind of get into this. But we already talked a little bit about your work with Dave Stewart with the Eurythmics, and I wonder, now you said that, I wonder how much impact he actually had on Annie Lennox when they first started out back in the 80s with the way that she did her hair, how it was just this crew cut thing, and it was very, very stark and it was just the visuals of her. For those who were, we were born in 68, but the visuals of her standing on that stark black background with that crew cut hair and waving that stick around, it's a look. Right. It really is a look. With that style of marketing, obviously it was inevitable that you would connect with Prince. He had to gravitate towards you, not just because of your musicianship, but the marketing of it as well. And, I know that Prince called you out and talked about how, said that you had great stage presence.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of Funkatopians here really want to hear their story about how he found you and connected with you and how that came to be as far as the relationship between you and Prince.
So I did something called the Drum Channel years ago with Hannah Welton, who was the drummer for Third Eye Girl.
Yes.
And her and we connected. I think her dad and my dad connected, and we ended up connecting. And she was doing some feature for the Drum Channel, and she's like, Nick, let's do like a bass and drums thing. So we did that, and she's been all about fusion and jazz and kind of just this rock. That was always.
Oh no. Hold on a second. We lost your audio, Nick. Hold on.
We lost your audio.
We lost your audio, Nick. Hold on. We lost your audio.
We can't hear you.
She's still talking, but she's not watching us.
I know this is a great story too. We can't hear you.
We can't hear you. We can't hear you.
Shoot.
We lost your audio.
Lost your audio.
We can't hear you. We lost your audio. We can't hear you.
Okay.
we lost her audio. She's gonna fix the audio. She'll be right back. She's still here. It kind of like bleeped in and out.
Yeah, she dropped for a minute, and the video came back, but the audio left. So, and we
no audio. We still can't hear you. We can see her.
We can see you, but we can't hear anything.
Oh no, I'm gonna have to edit this out now.
I know. Sad.
I love the fact that. Wait, it's not like that was you. That was your chair creaking.
What? So, well, for those of you who are listening on the radio, I mean on the app, we actually have her. We can see her. We just can't hear anything either. So it's not you. It's somehow we lost her, and we all know that this is probably a really killer story too.
Yes, it is.
It started off really good.
Try to remember exactly where we lost her too.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Yeah. No audio.
No.
Wait, sounded like she came back for a second.
I heard
Hello?
something.
Hello?
Yeah, you are. There
Okay,
you are.
It's just
I can hear you now.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, I can hear you now. Okay. I couldn't hear you. I don't know what happened.
Wow.
I don't know what happened.
That's perfect.
Where did we end up?
Okay, so you were working with Hannah Ford. Well, she was Hannah Ford at the time. Now she's Hannah Welton, now that she's married to Joshua.
Right.
And that she invited you in for a jam session, I guess, and that's kind of where we lost you.
Yes. So we did a feature on the drum channel, which features the drums, and she wanted me to be the artist that she collaborated with for this particular feature. And she was all about that fusion and like jazz and rock fusion. And I came in like, let's do some funk and let's do some Prince. Let's Work by Prince. And so we rehearsed that song, and that's one of the songs we ended up doing for the feature. And in order to get clearance for that, of course, they had to ask Prince for clearance to be able to use one of his songs. And that's how he found out about Hannah and I.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's very, and here's a lot of people don't know this. I think one of the first times I had laid eyes on you, I was like, it was during Liv Warfield's Why Do You Lie video.
Yes.
And I was like, who is this woman on bass that is here? And that whole era of Prince with the Third Eye Girl with Hannah, Hannah and Ida and Donna and Liv Warfield and Andy Allo, and on the outskirts you had Leanne LaHavis and all those, that whole era of when he's just really just crafting and working with so many people. I need, first off, as far as that jam session that happened with Hannah, is that out yet? I mean, is that out somewhere where we can get to it?
Yeah, the drum channel, that was like the very first thing we did. That drum channel should have it in the archives or on YouTube. I know that it was posted on YouTube then. It's probably still there now. They've got it, because I know that they've recently, probably a year ago, went back in the archives and started posting that footage on Instagram.
So I don't think a lot of people knew just the level of involvement that you were kind of working at with. I mean, technically you were part of the new power generation, really, because you've worked with Andy, you've worked with Liv, you've done some work with Andy Allo. All these people, Larry Graham, obviously to some extent, he's not really MPG, but he was part of that whole movement starting in 2000. Mm-hmm. What other things have you done in that Prince world that maybe was under the radar for a lot of people?
And that's exactly the time that I met Prince. So I met him around that same time, right as Third Eye Girl was getting ready to form. That's when before it formed, Donna had just gotten there. Ida was already there for, I think, years. Donna and Hannah had just gotten there, and then he brought me in. So it was me, Donna, Hannah, Prince, just kind of like doing these jam sessions and stuff like that. And it was literally like right as he was getting ready to name the band Third Eye Girl. So that's when I first met him, 2012.
Is there anything that I love the story of how Prince reached out to you to kind of do a little bit of a jam session.
Yeah.
And for those who have not heard that story, I would love for you to tell that story about how you got invited to come out and everything that transpired that night.
Yeah. So back in 2012, it was November. I remember that it was November. He called me in the middle of the night. I won't say the middle of the night. It was probably midnight. And I didn't recognize the number, so I didn't answer the phone. I'm like, who is calling me at this late at night? And I don't know the number. I'm not answering. And so anyway, to make a long story short, I ended up answering the call, and he says, hello, can I speak to Nik West? And I said, this is Nik. Who is this? And he says, I want to know if you want to come to Paisley Park and jam with me. This is Prince. It's just like, oh my God. As soon as he said Paisley Park, it's like I already knew who it was. And then he said, this is Prince. And I said, yes, of course, I would love to come and jam with you at Paisley Park. Yes. And he says, okay, well, how soon can you get here? And I said, tomorrow. He says, okay, we'll fly you out tomorrow. Bye. He hangs up the phone. And
first off, time out. I always got to figure out exactly how this works, because if Prince says, hey, you need to come out to Paisley Park, yes, we'll fly you out tomorrow. Are you getting plane tickets in the mail? Is like somebody calling you and saying, hey, your flight's at whatever. You just go and show up and go, hey, I'm sorry. How does that work?
Yeah. So he tells his people or whomever he needs to get the message to, and they send the message to me. So, I got the text message about the email, and okay, then the email, and okay, this is your flight ticket and blah, blah, blah. And then I was flown out there, and, he has his people that help him do this stuff.
First class or coach?
Did I fly first class or coach? I don't know, but I will say I had been flying first class a lot already. So I don't remember. Did I fly first? I think it was first class. I think so.
Were you stressing about which base to bring with you?
Right?
No. I knew which base I was going to bring with me. It was the base that I was the most comfortable on, because comfort had to be everything for this type of meeting.
Well, the funny part is how many songs you played that night in preparation for going.
That's the thing. So I stayed up all night just playing every Prince song that I could think of, that I couldn't think of, that I would just get on Google or Apple Music or whatever and be like, okay, he's going to ask me to play one of his songs, so I need to just be ready for whatever he asked me to play. So I stayed up all night. I did not sleep. I got on my flight the next day, and he didn't ask me to play any of that. He actually asked me to play Thank You for Letting Me Be Myself Again by Sly and the Family Stone. And I was shocked, because I'm like, you mean to tell me I stayed up all night working on Prince songs, and we didn't even, that whole time, that first time that I was there, we did not play a Prince song. So, but it was amazing because he gave me a firsthand lesson, hands-on lesson about this particular song. And that's when he inserted himself about Larry Graham, and look, I need to introduce you to Larry Graham. So the very first time I was there, I heard about Larry Graham. So it's kind of like Prince is like a fan, like geeks out over Larry Graham. So why wouldn't I want to know who that is and everything that he brings to the table? So he, standing there, not knowing what to do. My fingers are not working. I feel like I just don't know how to play at all. And he's like, well, you said you know the song. You gonna play the song? Sits down at the piano. He starts playing the song, and I freeze. I couldn't play. And he says, okay, I'm not asking you to be any of your favorite bass players. I'm just asking you to be Nik West. Because trust me, if you were not good at what you do, you would not be here. And so I feel like that gave me the confidence to just do me, like do what I do best. And so I started playing the song, and he says, "Okay, let me play your bass. Give me your bass." So I give him my bass, and he grabs the bass, and he just like is like, "Brown back, 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 brown back, back," and he's like, "Just because you're a woman does not mean that you don't dig in. You dig into the neck of this thing, and you let all the boys know that you have arrived. This is thunder right here." And so that was my introduction to really being aggressive with my playing on the bass. It was amazing, magical. That was magical.
Was that pretty much the only, I mean, was that like the primary thing that you feel like he imparted on you bass wise that you still actively use to this day? I mean, either through that jam session or just even listening to the way that he's playing over the years. I mean, is there anything else that you take away from the way that Prince plays bass?
Well, he and John Blackwell, he was his drummer for so many years. John Blackwell says, "You know what? I think I know why Prince loved you as an artist and bass player, because you play so much like him. Like you feel the way that Prince feels when he plays the bass." And I'm just like, "Oh, shut up, John. You don't know." He's like, "What you mean? I've been playing behind. If he picks up the bass, I'm the one that's been playing drums. What do you mean? I should know." So I think that's part of what, drew him to me, besides, the marketing and the look and all of that stuff. There was a certain vibe and a certain feel that he looks for when he's looking for people to play with and collaborate with.
Yeah. And for those of you who haven't realized it yet, this is Nik West, the great Nik West, playing the bass. And if you have not been to her show, if you have not been, I don't understand why, because you need to get some tickets and go to one of her shows. Not only is this an amazing story, it's a fun story, but I really love the fact that you play the way you played it, and then you play the way he showed you to play it. And it just makes that story even, more just amazing. We're all sitting in the audience like, oh, like, okay.
Right. And that's the thing, that the live demonstration of it, that's the killer. It's like, I can tell you what happened, but when I demonstrate it, it's just like, oh,
yep,
we see what happened there.
Prince really gravitated towards artists and instrumentalists that really become one with their instrument. They just kind of merge and just become one, and I mean, one of the people that I also saw that you worked with, somebody that does this, is John Mayer. John Mayer, if you've never seen John, I've known John for years. He was here in Atlanta for a long time. I've seen many shows of him playing at Eddie's Attic, which is a small little thing where we just sit, and he'd just be sitting on a stool playing acoustic guitar and then come out and hang out with about 20, 30 of us. And, so this is somebody else who's, I mean, obviously when he plays, he just dumps himself into how he plays. What's the story of you and John Mayer here? Because this is also interesting to me too, how you got connected with him.
So once again, I'm going to mention Dave Stewart.
Wow.
He was a person that was very important to a lot of the pivots in my career, because Dave Stewart and friends, he would invite all of his random friends. And then from those friends and those connections, that's how I made those connections and was able to branch out and do different things with different people and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But this photo that you're seeing there, this was actually at the Troubadour, with Dave Stewart actually invited John Mayer. So it was me, John Mayer, Orianthi, Dave Stewart, Judith Hill. So we were all there that night, and that's where that photo is from, at the Troubadour in LA.
You mentioned Orianthi. Is that Orianthi that's playing guitar on your Back in Black cover?
No, that's not Orianthi. That's not Orianthi, but That's a good friend of mine. Her name is Ariel. She is an amazing guitar player, but Orianthi was definitely one of her biggest influence. Orianthi and Avril Lavigne. So yes, you probably hear that style kind of come across there. Yep.
Well, in that video, we're going to talk about that in a second too. I have like just a handful of questions here left, but you know, I didn't get an opportunity to see the entire video. It was just like a 20-second or like about 30-second clip, and every single piece of it, it was just a really quick view of her, and she either had a mask on or it was just very dark. I was like, is that Orion?
Oh, yeah.
There was, speaking of which, talking about performing with the greats, you posted on Instagram this photo and indicated that you had to follow Sting. Sting of all people. And let me just go ahead and just say, the Police on their Synchronicity tour with the Fix on their Reach the Beach tour opening up for them was the first concert that I had gone to ever by myself. And that was like a unbelievable. I mean, every other concert I had been brought to, that was the first one where I got on MARTA by myself and went into downtown Atlanta at the Omni and went by myself and sat by myself with nobody else. And, but I need to figure out how you got such a difficult placement of having to follow Sting of all people. Explain that to me. I mean, when you saw that where you were in that lineup, what's going through your head?
It's really crazy. It was just the luck of the roll of the dice. It's just how it happened. I don't know if it was just a roll of the dice how it happened. I didn't realize that was the lineup and I was going on after. I didn't realize that. I didn't know what time I was going on. But the festival knew. The festival, it's called a Guitar and Scene Festival in France. And it was just so crazy because, and I'm just like, how am I supposed to follow Sting? Are you nuts? I can't do what? Right. And the band was just like, girl, you got this. Do your thing. It's just more fuel. It's more fuel. So I believe that's probably one of the greatest shows I've ever played, because I'm like, look, this audience is going to throw tomatoes at me if I don't bring it. So I need to bring it. And I feel like we brought it. So I just going on after Sting, though it was really hard, it pushed us to do even better than we normally do.
And do you remember who had to follow you?
No, I closed the festival out.
I was going to say, God bless their soul.
That was it.
Yeah. So I know that you've been thoroughly baptized in funk, obviously. But I was watching again that promo, and Dave Stewart, again from the Eurythmics, mentioned that you were really connected to rock. I think I do actually have a screen capture of you from the AC/DC. AC/DC, your cover of AC/DC's Back in Black, which is really cool, by the way. So talk about I mean, it's obvious in regards to funk, who the forebears are, as far as, Larry Graham, Prince, Bootsy, James Brown, et cetera, et cetera. Who are your cornerstones in rock? As far as, if you gravitate towards rock, who are your rock gods?
Look, AC/DC,
good one.
Pearl Jam.
Wow, really? Okay.
Yes. I love that song Alive. I don't know if you've heard the live version of Alive.
Yes.
It's killing. Like, man, the bass line, look, it's killing. And I love these artists and these bands for different reasons. Sometimes I just love the bass lines and the groove. Like, for instance, AC/DC, they kind of had this, especially with Back in Black. Yes, it's hard rock, but there's like a groove behind it. There's a groove underneath it that I just hard. Like, I love. And so, yeah, I don't know. I feel, and okay, now this one is really left field. This is probably left field for what you would think is left field for me, but Alice Cooper.
My daughter is a huge fan of Alice Cooper, if for no other reason than school's out.
Alice Cooper. I don't know. I just feel like, I don't know. If you see me on stage and you see kind of what it is that I do, I love the freedom. Like I love the dressing up and playing a role and playing a character and doing all of that. And I just feel like the great rock bands, they were about just freedom. Right. And that's what I love so much about it. That's what I love so much about rock music is the freedom.
Yeah, you know, we've talked a few times, Chris has brought up marketing, but one of the things I've noticed throughout your career and seeing the different things you've done, even things I've missed and just saw in video, you have always been bigger than any stage you've been on. And that's the energy and the vibration. You know, that's what you give. Okay. You know, you've been blessed by people, but your presence is blessing people at the same time.
Wow.
So, you know,
thank you. Wow. Thank you. That's a huge compliment. That's a huge compliment.
I just feel huge energy. So it's just it's that energy that you bring. It's just
it really is. It's strong. It's strong.
Thank you. Thank you.
When you came to Atlanta and you walked out on the stage, I mean, I was already just like, you know, before you were backstage, because there was no way I would miss the show. You know, it's like I was already giddy because I'd been talking about you for years to people. And just when you walked out on the stage, it was like all of a sudden, where's the stage? You know, like it wasn't there anymore. It was just you. And
thank you. I appreciate that. And, you know, I tend to love to do club type venues because people are standing. I don't know, crowd dive. I can reach out and touch people. So doing this city winery in Atlanta was really kind of, Atlanta and Chicago was different for me. It was kind of like a first for me, where it's kind of like, you know, you have your dinner and you're eating and then you're watching this act. And I'm just kind of like, oh, should I be more jazzy? No, I'm crazy. I'm funky. I'm crazy. So that was a little bit different for me. Mm-hmm. So when I came out on stage, I was like, look, I'm going to just do what I do.
Right. I'm surprised you didn't like step out onto the tables. That's the other thing that annoys me about City Winery in Atlanta. Is they really don't give you any place to stand or anything if you really or dance. It's just you just got to sit there and just be like, yeah, I like this, but there's no place for me to move.
Right.
Some of us have quick reactions though, so if you had jumped out there, some of us might have caught you. You know,
you might have caught me like, oh.
We'd have been there for you.
We'd have been there for you, right?
Next time.
And let me just say, your band,
phenomenal.
Yeah, phenomenal.
Yeah,
they were really good. And I was sitting right by the drummer.
Oh, David,
that dude is beast mode. Was full beast mode. I was watching everything he was doing. Even when things weren't going right, his earpieces in ear falling out and stuff. I mean, I was watching it all, and I was just like, this dude is he don't care.
Oh my gosh. People like you that notice all the details.
Yeah. It's a curse.
It's a curse. Yeah. Sometimes it's hard to enjoy a show, but not yours. So
yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
And I actually did post a clip of when you were telling the print and talking about the thank you for letting me be myself the situation. I did post a little clip about that, but I do actually have a clip of Thumpalina of you playing. So I may post that on Facebook at one point in time, but
okay.
I love the photos and stuff that you post on Instagram. And I loved this photo. And I know that you're going to love telling the story behind this one here.
Oh, my baby. That's my baby. My baby.
So you said you played at the Coliseum. I think there was another Coliseum shot. And I've never been here, so I didn't know that. There actually is an area to play inside of this venue. I'm sorry if that sounds ridiculous question, but is there a place to play inside of the Coliseum here?
No, you can't play inside of it because I don't know. It might like all fall apart. I don't know. It's that old, but in front of, they have a specific area where, and I think this was a first actually, where they had an artist perform on the stage. It's in near the right on the Coliseum area. So normally, I mean, I don't think that you see that. I mean, unless it's kind of like street performers, kind of like, you know, playing some guitar and doing that thing, but to where it's actually a ticketed show, stage setup sort of thing. Yeah, that's it's kind of a first.
I think I saw some special on TV talking about it. There's a lot of scammers and con artists that walk around outside the Coliseum. Oh, we'll give you a tour, and you know we'll charge you this, that, and the other. But this is really cool that you got an opportunity to play. I mean, the Coliseum, that's what it was designed for, was for shows and performances and things like that. So I'm just surprised that they don't have it set up that way. I don't. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's such a like a monument to where I don't think that they want to do that, or maybe not yet, maybe in the future. But it was 2 nights that I did. It wasn't a festival, it was just kind of me headlining 2 nights, and I think it was like 800 people per night. We sold it out complete. Every single seat was sold.
Wow.
For both nights. And so that was amazing because that was my first time playing in Rome, besides kind of like doing TV shows.
Okay.
Susie keeps asking this question. She's asking a bunch of questions. She says, does she like reggae? Does she play reggae? Any stories about playing with reggae artists?
Right.
So
I actually have not played with any reggae artists, but in the beginning of my career, that was kind of the music that I was learning how to play, because there's a certain
groove
there. Yeah. There's a certain, not just groove, but there's a style, there's a sound, there's a tone, there's a whole thing that's involved with being a reggae bassist. So I learned how to do all of that stuff. And that's why, you know, of course, even working with Dave Stewart or working with other artists that wanted to add reggae into, because I know Joss Stone, Mick Jagger, Dave Stewart, A.R. Rahman, they had a song together where it was like reggae, the whole reggae bass, reggae kind of feel to it. And I was like, oh, I got this. I can play this. The muting sound. Boom, 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 boom. So yes, I definitely know how to play reggae with authenticity.
So is that how you really learn to, I don't know, let's say cut your teeth on finding that tone? Because tone matters, and depending on the venue and the back line, you know, it's hard to make sure you get that tone. Is that really where you got that ear for it? Because it doesn't matter where you go, that bass is the bass, you know. I mean,
Right.
obviously style and everything that you do, but there's something about that, you know, not everyone can do that.
Right. And I learned all about tone in the very beginning. I think, you know, I come from a math background. I used to tutor calculus. That's how I made my money while I was trying to make it as a musician. So I'm all about numbers and problem solving and like tweaking things until it's right. So I feel like I'm like that with tone. So reggae being one of those styles that the tone is super, super important, and the technique is super, super important. That was really important for me to learn that style early on in my career. And then of course the funk, there are a lot of people that do play funk, you know, they slap the bass and stuff, but there's something not quite there with some of the bass players that try to do this style because the tone is missing. Yes. So there's a specific tone that goes down to dialing that in just right so that it feels good.
Yeah, you hear a lot of different tones and I mean, the way that Sting plays bass is a very distinct tone. The way that Norwood Fisher from Fishbone plays is very distinct tone. Mm-hmm. Doug Pinnick from King's X, very distinct. There's like these very distinct tones that you like. Well, with Doug Pinnick from King's X, is he likes to detune a lot. So a lot of times you hear it, it's like, okay,
yeah,
that's Doug. Yeah. So, and you have a very distinct style too, but you also borrow so much tone from so many different sources and inspirations, including Larry and Prince. And it's a melting pot of just all the best of it kind of wrapped together, which is one of the reasons why you're such a powerhouse on stage. It's really, really cool to watch you play.
Yeah, for musicians, it's a interesting thing. If any musicians are out there and haven't heard, I noticed that depending on the song you play, I mean, your style, the way you play changes. It's not like you just play the same thing. You know what I mean? We're not talking about notes. We're talking about just the way you play. I can hear the fingering, and sometimes where just there's some nuances that you do that fit. So you got it. Yeah.
Okay, look at you knowing all the details. Knowing the details. That's what I'm talking about. Yes, that's important. The tone, and I just like to play with authenticity, but definitely adding myself into that. And I think part of that too is being a female bass player. They're kind of like, okay, can you really play? We see people all over Instagram and TikTok, and they watch us. Everybody's watching us female bass players like, okay, well, what you gonna do in person? Because it's one thing to do 15-second video, but in person, do we have it? So I'm like, I gotta make sure I got it in person too. And the tone and the nuances, that's a big part of it.
Mm-hmm. So tell us about the Queen of Strings competition.
Oh my gosh. So that competition actually hasn't gone on for a while because I've just been so busy. But the concept of the Queen of Strings competition was finding female guitar players, female bass players, just women that played these stringed instruments, finding them, encouraging them, and giving people that haven't had the opportunity to get certain types of equipment, amplifiers and strings, just giving them these endorsements. So I think that's kind of what I did is I set out to find all of these female players, like, yo, who's next? Giving everybody a chance to just be seen. That was really, really important.
Okay. And then you followed up and you had the bass domination course. So let's talk.
Bass domination. Okay. Bass domination. Inbox, DMs. Can you teach me how to do what you do? How do you do that? You did this thing in the video and I don't understand. I want to learn how to do this. So I'm like, okay, you know what? Let me go ahead and put this course together and teach people how to do what I do. Because I feel like when I was learning, because I'm self-taught, well, like I guess YouTube taught. And when I was learning, I had all these different YouTube videos and there were so many things missing. And I met Ricky Minor. He was doing back then the Jay Leno show or something like that. And he's a music director of that. And he said, Nick, everything that you know very well. But what you don't know at all. And that was the first time that I understood that, okay, I probably learned this from YouTube and I learned it really well, but there's all of these spaces and all these things missing in between. And I decided to package all that stuff up together, put it in a course, and teach it to other people. And most of my students are women. So 80% of my students are women. And it's just like, you mean to tell me I have there's 600 something women in the world that want to know how to play the bass? And that was amazing. It was really eye-opening for me.
That's pretty cool.
That is. Wow. I'm like, okay, if I gotta wear a wig or something, it's gonna be weird. I got enough hair, so I figure I can just.
You have enough hair, but no, I have a lot of men. I have a lot of male students as well, but 70 to 80% are women.
Yeah. So, do you play the upright as well?
I learned how to play the upright the couple of years that I was living in Seattle. This was, after Esperanza came out, I was like, oh, she is so cool. Like, I need to figure this out. I need to learn how to play this upright thing. And so I learned how to play upright. And there's a video that I posted years ago where I was playing Summertime on the upright. And I actually did something for Disney Soul, the movie Disney Soul with John Batiste. They asked me they were doing a promotion of this movie and they wanted me to specifically to play upright bass for this promo. Okay. And so John Batiste, he played the keys, I played the upright bass, and I was like, that's right. I'm glad I learned it.
That was such a cool movie. I didn't know that you were part of it. That's really cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, well, if we're gonna talk TV, we've got enough milestones to get in there. What about Catch Me If You Can? So recently, I guess, right, just featured on Netflix, the Virgin River series, I
Yes.
guess.
Yes. Yes.
How's it feel?
And it feels amazing. And fun fact, and I didn't post about it, and sometimes I don't post about my wins, but that was the second time that it was featured. It was also featured on a show called Amber Brown back in 2022 before it was like fully released in this version. But Netflix with Virgin River, which is a really great show, high rated show, 5 seasons, and they use it for the perfect scene. Perfect scene. Yeah. So, I mean, I just feel like there's lots of things that are happening. And although I thought, if I have this baby, it's going to slow down my career because that's what they make us feel or we feel or whatever.
Right.
But things have really picked up and a lot of things, great things have been happening after that. So, I just feel very blessed that I kind of have my hands in a bunch of different things. My music is being promoted and shared and talked about in multiple different ways.
I love that you gave a shout out to Esperanza Spalding and being an inspiration. Yeah. The woman who broke the Grammys in 2011.
Yeah, I remember that. Oh my God.
How did like, who is that? That's got to be wrong.
Yeah, right. And
best album, so there you go.
And I'm trying to think if we had met already then. I think we had already met. We met, we hung out, we had dinner, we became friends. We're still friends to this day. I'm like, yo, where are you at? She's like, I'm in Portland and I'm happy. I'm like, okay. So she's like, no, just let me know the next time you're here and then we can hang out. Cause it was just like, I'm not going anywhere. I'm chilling right now. So she was a total inspiration for me.
That's cool. Matt McMahon wants to know if you ever got an opportunity to play with Mono Neon.
Oh my gosh. Mono Neon. Dwayne, you mean Dwayne? So I knew him. We actually came up together. We went to our first NAMM show. It's a trade show that musicians and guitar companies and different companies, music companies go to yearly. Mono Neon and we went to our very first NAMM through somebody his name is Jackie Clark. He's also a bass player, kind of like his uncle. So he got us tickets to come in and we all just kind of went around to the different booths and stuff like that together. So I've known Mono Neon since, our beginnings. So, and we've done collaborations together. There's a song called Purple Unicorn that he's featured on my Spotify. Also, some cover videos that I've done, he's actually jumped on the covers and played guitar on those. So yeah, we are longtime friends.
I feel like a total idiot. I totally forgot that he was on Purple Unicorn. So
Longtime friends.
Yeah, I feel like a nerd. Okay, that's all right. It's all good. This actually happened quite a while back, but not quite a while back, but a few years ago. But what's going through your mind when you see Rolling Stone post Nik West, the queen of bassists?
I tell myself, I'm just like, oh, that's a bunch of BS, like I'm just like, I don't know how I can be the queen of this thing. There's so many queens. There's so many amazing female bass players out there. But of course, these articles, they do give me praise. They're giving me praise for what they view as great. Mm-hmm. And that's awesome. And I don't take that lightly. It's not BS, but there are lots of queens of the bass out there. And that's just what I feel about it.
Yeah, so who do you feel is the queen of the bass? If the title doesn't belong to you, who do you feel like it belongs to?
I can't pick one. I can't just pick one queen of the bass. I mean, there's what I would call innovators. Michelle Ndegecello, she's an innovator. Janice Marie from Taste of Honey, Boogie Oogie, she's an innovator. Singing and playing the bass and kind of doing that thing. You've got like the bass players, and then you have the bass player artists, the ones that sing and play at the same time. And then you've got people like Esperanza, where she has her own unique style and look and feel with the bass. I can't really pinpoint one. And then you've got like Tal Wickenfeld, who in the fusion world, she's like just amazing inspiration. And then you have Eda Nielsen and Rhonda Smith, who are kind of like the bass players for Prince. Like they were the bass players for Prince, and they're innovators. These women are innovators. These women that I just mentioned, they inspired me to start my journey. So they're all queens.
Yeah, and it's you named a bunch of Prince ones, including Tal Wilkenfeld, who many Prince fans know did a lot of work on Prince's Welcome to America. Mm-hmm. And she is, I don't know how old she is now.
Probably 39.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even think she's that old, is she? Or maybe.
I don't know. I think she was
36. I just
36. 36. Okay, yeah.
See, I mean,
because I know she was out there. Like she's one that inspired me. Her, Esperanza, like I mentioned, all of these amazing women. So yeah, Tal. Man, there's so many talented ones. Like, there's no way I could just put a crown on one.
Yeah, she was 23 when she worked with Prince on Welcome to America. So,
oh my God, that was so long ago.
All right,
Prince has been gone a long time.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh,
me. Let's do some promo. You're on a break right now, but when the tour kicks back up, where are you going to be? What are some of the cities that you're going to be in, or some of the states? So they can at least,
Seattle. I'm headed to Seattle next. In 2 weeks, I'll be in Seattle at the Crocodile. It's for a festival called Black and Loud. I'm Black, and I guess I'm loud, so I'm part of this festival.
There you go.
And then I am on the East Coast in Maryland. And I don't know, I got to look at the dates, but you can go bandsintown.com/Nik West. And then for the end of October through November, I head to Europe to finish out the tour.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can pull up your tour.
That's where I follow you through, Bands in Town.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was going to pull up to see if I could see where.
There's a few more left.
Yep.
And you're gonna be in Annapolis, Maryland. Yeah, there's a bunch of different places here, but yeah, you can go to, and then you're going to Belgrade, and no, that's Belgrade. You're in Paris, Portland, Maine. Yeah, a lot of people were saying, "Come to Detroit." I saw.
Yeah, I know.
I need to go back to Detroit. I've performed there a few times actually, and 2 of those times I've probably done Detroit 5 or 6 times, and 2 of those times I was the support act for Parliament Funkadelic. So I'll be back. That's one of my favorite crowds in Detroit. Yo, I got you. I'm coming back.
Oh yeah, Detroit's a great place to play. Prince definitely had an affection for Detroit as well. And this is the cover of Moody.
Yes. My background.
Like search for. You can go to funkatopia.com/Nik, N-I-K, F-U-N-K, it's F-U-N-K-A-T-O-P-I-A, funkatopia.com/Nik. And it will take you right to where you can buy Moody. It's okay if you want to take a listen to it first on Spotify, but please go and actually purchase the album. I would much rather she get a better cut than 0.0001 cent.
0.1230115.
Annoying.
Yes. And then vinyl are coming for those of you that love vinyl. Those are on the way.
Very cool. And of course, you can also, as expected, you can also go to nikwestbass.com and you can see all the places that she's playing. You can listen to some music. You can read a little bit about her bio, and then of course, whatever else you want. Anything else you want to promote before you go? I hate to cut you loose. We love having you here. Yeah. Is there anything else that you want to share with us before you go?
I think you guys have covered it all. You're the experts at doing this interview thing, and you covered it all. Yes.
We have because we don't know when we're going to get you on the show again. So we had to make sure we covered all the bases for sure.
Right.
Jeff Page, had to he was like those midnight calls from Prince. He was just like, when's Nick going to be on the show? When's Nick going to be on the show? It's like, calm down, she's coming.
And I remember you from Atlanta, and one of my managers, Shelly, I would say, that Funkatopia, like I'm supposed to do an interview. I know I have a tour, but can we see if they have anything available while I'm on a break? So I was constantly thinking of y'all, because I knew I promised, and I'm like, let me get this, let me do this.
Yeah, this is you and me in Atlanta.
Yes.
You don't think you knew me then, but I was the guy with the Steve Martin hat.
Yes, Steve Martin.
And I didn't post my picture yet. It's in my phone though.
It's not the one you had blown up in like the poster size that you've got framed somewhere.
Yeah. Don't it make you mad? Don't it make you mad? It make me mad.
All right, Nick, it was such an honor having you here with Funkatopia Live. And definitely, if you have any opportunity to go to nikwestbase.com, see when she is playing. If she's coming in your town, definitely go check it out. You will love it. And just make sure that when you get seats, you have a little room to stand up and dance, especially if it's at a city winery.
Yeah. And I have one request from you before you go. If you would be willing to grace us every once in a while. I mean, we have a lot of great artists on here, and a lot of times they're willing to do a bumper for us.
Oh yeah, great idea.
And
yes, let's do it. Yes, let's do it. I've got a little static coming from you though.
Of course, the moment I ask.
I can mute him if it's coming from him. Hold on a second. Let's see. Is it? Nope, it might be. I don't know if it's coming from Nick or is this coming. Well, I muted you, Jeff. It must be coming
Not me.
Is it me? No. Yeah, it was Nick. it was Nick. It's okay. Let's take her off of mute and let's see if we can pull one together. I got Audacity. I can probably fix anything.
We can fix it up.
Oh nope. Did she she probably left and then maybe she's gonna come back and do it. I don't know. She just kind of dropped off.
Oh, okay.
Yep. It's all right. I mean, hopefully she'll come back and maybe do. If not, that was Nik West.
That was Nik West, everybody.
Just like, oh, I'd like to give you a bumper, but
bumper, click.
I'm sorry.
She's like, bump this.
Oh, I would love to do a bumper.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, Nik West has just left the building.
Oh, I'll just have her grab a. I'll have her.
That's awesome. That was a great.
Thank you for remembering, for reminding us to do the bumper.
Yeah.
So
she's awesome. She really is. Her show when she came here to Atlanta was phenomenal.
It's fire. Absolutely.
It was fire. It was absolutely. And the band, like everything they did was great. I mean, they knocked out the park.
Man. Yeah, I would have loved to have got a bumper from her, but oh well. She was probably crinkling some paper or something just so she didn't have to do it.
She was like, oh, a bumper?
Oh, I am so sorry. So I think this is something on your end. We'll just have to we'll get it later.
Hello. The joys of live shows.
I know she's not doing that. Man, it was so much fun to have Nick up. But guess what, folks? The night is not over because we also have some really, really cool news for you as well. And we're going to talk about some of these really awesome extra things. Man, that was cool, though. We had Nik West on the show. She was here. It was awesome. Love it.
Absolutely. On Wednesday.
All right. First thing I'm going to do, we talked about this in the pre-show. And I want to give a shout out to all you amazing Funkatopians. If you are on Facebook right now, please click follow. And if you're on YouTube, please subscribe, do the alert, the little bell thing or whatever. Really need to make those little videos because I always watch these videos on YouTube where they have the little bell that goes ding, 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 ding. And they have all these things like press this and touch this. And
That's right.
I was watching some, there was a video, this I can't remember what it was. It was Nick's back. Hold on a second. Nick's back. Hold on a second.
Sweet.
Nick's back.
I can't believe it.
We were like, she did that on purpose. She's like, hello.
No,
I am so
I can't
sorry.
believe it. I'm like, what happened? Oh my God, what? I'm back. I'm back.
Yeah. So just thank you for coming on the show, and thank you for coming back too. That's pretty awesome.
Thank you.
We got to break into the news. Like, well, we got news to talk about. It was awesome having your here. Yeah. So Bumper is just this Nik West, and you're listening to Funkatopia. You can add in whatever you want. You can add in a little spice or whatever you want. Just feel free to just do whatever, and we'll just strip the audio. So whenever you're ready.
Okay.
Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Nik West, and you're listening to Funkatopia. Funk all the time.
Perfect. That's awesome.
Yes.
Write down this time. Don't worry. I will send it to you, Jeff, so you can set your ringtone on your phone to that.
Yeah.
My ringtone right now is forbidden fruit. People are like, what is?
Oh my goodness.
Oh, Nik, we love you so much.
We
And
really do. Thank you.
nothing but success and good positive things for the rest of your tour, and spend time with your kid and just chill and relax and do some fam time, because that is absolutely the most important thing for your health,
Most important.
your mental health for sure.
Yes.
And
yes.
thank you so much, Nik, for coming on the show. And again,
Thank you for having me. I'm glad we got a chance to do it. So much fun. Thank you.
Can't wait to have you back.
Oh yes, absolutely. And I'll make sure that I get you this. This will be on Spotify and iHeartRadio and everything tomorrow.
Oh, nice. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So you can point people to this if they want to learn more about you, because we found out everything.
Everything. Oh my God. It's perfect. Perfect.
All right, dear. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you
you
for coming back.
Thank you. See y'all later. Bye.
Bye.